Welcome back. Now that we reviewed the science behind direct neurofeedback and have examined some of the symptoms that can lead a client to try direct neurofeedback, we're ready to see the process in action. And it begins, of course, with the all-important first session. And that first session begins with an intake. During an intake, important details are captured about the client that help us guide their experience, track their progress, and manage their expectations. In your handouts, you will find a sample intake form. On it, you will find some sample questions that you are free to incorporate into your own intake process. Whichever questions you choose to incorporate, your goal should remain the same. First and foremost, the intake form is the first place to capture a baseline of how the client would assess their own condition. This can be accomplished during intake by using scaling questions, such as, on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy is it to get out of bed in the morning? These types of questions will appear at the beginning of every session and will serve as a mechanism by which you'll be able to track the client's progress, but we'll focus more on that later in the course. During the intake, we also want to make sure to capture details about any current medications, alternative therapies, or family histories with either their stated condition and/or previous neurofeedback treatments. Example of the types of questions you should ask include, is there a family history of your main complaint? Or, has anyone in your family ever tried neurofeedback, and if they did, was the outcome successful? Helping to set and subsequently manage the client's expectation during that first session is incredibly important. For the client to have a clear understanding of what they should or should not expect will greatly assist them in being able to report their progress and their results back to you. As such, the consent form, also included in your handouts, is a useful tool to help guide that discussion. Reviewing the consent form with your client can help them understand what direct neurofeedback is and, equally as importantly, what direct neurofeedback is not. It will also help prepare them to play an active role in reporting their progress and successes as you take them through the process. You can also allay any of their concerns by reviewing the safety section of the consent form as a means of reaffirming how harmless neurofeedback truly is. Indeed, the signal is so weak that this battery, held against my forehead, is currently sending a signal to my brain that is 1,000 times stronger than any signal sent during the neurofeedback process. Finally, the consent form contains a helpful description of possible side effects, including the 4 most common side effects that a client could experience, which are feeling tired, feeling wired or jumpy and giddy, feeling spacey or lightheaded, or headaches. By reviewing these with the client up front, you help make sure that the client can remain focused on the specific benefits and progress that the sessions have yielded. Now that we've completed our intake, we are ready to begin our first session with our client, and that is where our next video will begin as well.